Ah yes, finally updated. What's up guys, Team Phoenix Early, back at it again. This time we're coming to you guys with an updated Spike Brothers Baden Dragger deck profile. Okay, let's get it. So, starting off, our starter is still the same, Mega Trainer. What he does, searches out grade 1, usually want to search out a PG, or any other card that we want, or need for a combo. We're playing 4 Reckless Express. Reckless Express essentially he's just there, so he goes back to deck for Dudley Emperor. We're playing 2 Dudley Daisy now. So in our previous one we were playing Phantom. Reason why we took out Phantom is basically because it's 7k body. It helps make 21 with our Vanguard lanes, our Vanguard because of new boss, which I mean I might as well bring him out now. So our new boss, Bad and Dragger. So his skill, Limit Break, for when brought upon, your Vanguard gets 10k, and then 2 of the following abilities. All your front and rear guards get 10k, and at the end of the battle to your rear guard attack, put that unit on the bottom of the deck, and then when it's boosted, this unit gets 3k. So Break Ride was a new mechanic that was introduced, I believe, in last set? I believe with the introduction of at least Eradicators. So as you saw, plus 3k, so you can make it 14, and then you get a 7k booster, and you can make 21. So that's why we're playing Daisy as a grade 1 over Phantom, which Phantom, he can become a 10k, but he'll end up going back to deck when you use him. And next one that we're added in was Wild Hitter. So his skill is, at the end of the battle that the drive check of a Vanguard, this unit boosted or reveals a grade 3. Counterblast 1 and put this unit to soul. Call any card from your deck to an empty break card. So the reason why he's in the deck is in case you break ride and then you essentially don't end up break riding Deadly Emperor, basically. So with him, you're able to get an additional, at least, I want to say, 2 or 3 attacks? You can get about an extra 2 or 3 attacks if you end up not break riding Deadly Emperor. So I already went over what Deadly Emperor was in the previous profile, which is Limit Break, Counterblast 2, Spirit Call 2. So the reason why it's the new update with Bad and Dragger matters is because essentially when your opponent's at, let's say your opponent's at 4 damage, you basically can put out enough attacks to essentially kill them from there, even if they had all 4 PGs. Which I think there was an actual situation in one of the recordings where that actually happened, where the opponent actually had 4 PGs. It's in one of the games. I think it might be in the first one. It's going to be going up, where they actually had all 4 PGs, and you're still able to end the game. And the reason why we were able to do that was a card called Devil Summoner, who, when placed, he can Superior Call. You can check the top card of your deck, and then Superior Call a 2 or grade. I believe it's a 2 or less. Yeah, it's grade 2 or less, and it doesn't have to be called to a open rear guard. So the reason why that matters, we've got a new god that we got from the new set, Deadly Mason. So this goes on Vanguard rear guard. When it's attacked with the Vanguard, Counterblast 2. Put a card from hand into your soul, and you can call any card from deck to an open rear guard. So what you do is, when the opponent is at 4, you swing with the side to, you can swing side to side, and then you swing Mason to their Vanguard hit. They don't get a trigger skill. You're going to Superior Call Devil Summoner to the other open front row, and then you can see where it goes there, where you get a card off of Devil Summoner, Superior Call it to where Mason would be. So that's why we're playing, and that's also the reason why we're playing Mason as a 4 of, make it very consistent. And also another thing that came out with the new set was these new PGs. They activate when you would lose the game as opposed to when you're at 5 off of like a crit. Okay, so we kept Bracky in the deck. Next, we're only playing 2 Panthers. So we took out 2 Panthers from our previous version so that we can add in extra Masons so we have a more consistent combo for a finish. And then, if you guys noticed my build, like if you've just noticed by now, my build is very similar to the Stanley deck that topped in Autumn. Shout out to him. So, but the main difference between my deck and his deck is that I am playing Jumbo the Sun Gun. Now, this is an amazing card. Came out in the new set. So his ability is rearguard when placed by during your battle phase. Counter charge 1 and soul charge 1. So this card. So the reason why I'm playing him is basically in case I end up missing Bat and Dragger. So, like, let's say I ended up just riding straight into Emperor. So the previous problem with the Spike Brother deck was that you couldn't really get Dudley Emperor skill off a third time without healing. Because you've got like one counterblast you're going to use towards Mecha Trainer, right? And then you have, let's say you healed one more time in the game, you still only have 5 counterblasts, so you're only able to use Dudley Emperor at least twice. Whereas now with Jumbo the Sun Gun, if you healed once in the game, then you can basically use 4 counterblasts and then refund one of those, and then you'll have an extra 2 counterblasts in order to use Dudley Emperor a third time. So why does that matter? So you'll end up going through at least 2 Dudley Emperors turns, and the opponent just doesn't die. It happens. So that's why we're playing Jumbo the Sun Gun to refund a counterblast to make it so you can get that third one off. So something you might have noticed with my Grade 3 lineup is that I'm playing 3 Battling Draggers and 2 Juggernaut Maximums. So the actual reason behind doing that is, so if I end up having to ride the Emperor first, I would rather see Juggernaut Maximum at that point in the game rather than Battling Dragger, because at that point the opponent's more likely going to put me to limit break after I get to Deadly Emperor, right? So I would rather see a Juggernaut Maximum, a card that can guarantee go back to deck, as opposed to, or Bat and Dragger just ends up being a dead card at that point. We're still playing Beans as a 4-of, because you can go back to deck and switch out a Dudley, Grade 2 or less Dudley, and keep in mind he can search out Mason to make your deck even more consistent, or he could even search out this 7k Daisy to make a 21 with your Vanguard booster. Also, going back to Wild Hitter, so let's just say one of the worst situations, you end up break riding into Beans, right? So you'll have this, so he's a 20k body by himself. Let's just, you throw a Wild Hitter behind him. So now what you're gonna do, you swing side, swing Vanguard. You say you drove check, you got lucky, you drove check a trigger, right? Now Wild Hitter's skill will go off. You can actually Superior Call like either a Devil Summoner, use its skill, you end up calling another attacker, or you end up Superior Calling like a Mason, and then you can make, like, if you have a booster behind it, then you can end up Superior Calling another lane. On top of that, like, you could just go into, like, let's just say you call it like a Bracky or a Panther. That is basically it. We're still playing 9 draw and 4 heal. You'll see there's a, I actually put up a attack counter to show you. I think it would I think it happened in the first game, where I actually got something like 7 attacks off. Because I basically just had, it was just a situation where it was guaranteed going to happen, where I basically just had a perfect situation in the first game, so I could get the full combo off. Also, on a side note, the name of the deck is called Sea Advance 3. That's because I had another version that I was playing during the season. And that version was without any Bat and Draggers or Masons. So there are 2 commentating games after this. Enjoy. So starting with game 1, we have a game against Gold Paladin. KPK. Let me win Paladin only, please. What? Okay, so we have 2 Jelly Beans in hand. We don't really need that at the start, so I think I end up setting both back. Yeah, and the Bracky, because we don't really need that at the start. Okay, we start off with Bat and Dragger and Mason. Key for the combo. So yeah, this is a game. This game is pretty nuts. Okay, we're playing against Liberators. Okay, we start off with drawing a Beans. Not bad. So I mean, the first like turn 2 is pretty straightforward. Like normal Vanguard. So we ride Reckless and then pass turn. So we're going first. Okay, so they ride Bruno. I mean, the only real special thing that's probably going to happen is just they're searching out a Blaster Blade Liberator. Okay, they got a draw trigger. Nice. Okay. Damage a wild hitter. Okay, so we draw into a Daisy. It's a good booster. Guess we're gonna ride the Black Panther. I don't think I choose Suresh here, but I'm gonna search out a Mason, I think. Yeah. So now we have 2 Masons in hand, so if we ever need to call one to rear guard, we can. It's our main combo. Well, we want to have a Mason in hand. Okay, so we drove check, I heal trigger. Decided not to use Mecha Trainer, because we want to keep it for the booster for now. If anything, we want to try and use that Daisy for a rear guard booster. Since once we hit grade 2 onward, I mean, the only card I have that can really hit them is Panther. Because of the 10k body, only safe card. Okay, so they ride Gallatin and call 12k attacker. If they had a booster, they probably would have wanted to call it, so maybe they don't really have boosters in hand. That would have been the perfect time to call a booster, like behind the Vanguard. So anyways, I took the damage, got 5k, they didn't hit with their Vanguard. Top a Devil Summoner. So now we're gonna ride Bat and Dragger. I think I tried to get the +1 off of, maybe? Yeah, I think I tried to go for the +1. Yeah, I ended up whiffing. +1s are +1s. I mean, we have another one of this in deck, so even if it's in the front row, that's fine. Okay, so now we're using Mecha Instructor, search out a PG. Since they called the intercept there. Yeah. Kill their side. Hit a draw trigger, swing a Vanguard to Vanguard. Make them think that we're playing stands. That's why you put it on the side. For the first check at least. Okay, they got nothing. So if you see I have 3 Masons in hand, that's pretty nuts. I only need 1. Okay, so they ride the break ride that calls too. Unfortunately, I don't exactly remember the name of it. Okay, so they call 2 grade 2s, 12k attacker, and a 10k attacker. I assume at this point they don't have boosters, which is why he did that. It hasn't called a booster yet, so that's a little rough. So now he has to double trigger in order to hit me. Okay, you got your first trigger, they got a heal, that's fine. Our win condition here is going to be like 4 damage. In order to get our full combo off. It's a pretty cool win condition. Okay, so I topped my last Mason, which I think that's pretty nuts. So now we start calling them down as boosters. Call a Panther. Try to still conserve them if we can. Okay, we swing at their Vanguard, throw our Vanguard, hit a heal. Okay, it's still 1-1 when they're grade 3. Then put on the side, just to make them think we're playing stands. Get another crit in the damage zone. One good thing about Liberators, though, is that they can get basically a free Blaster Blade. And Blaster Blade Liberator can snipe any card on the board, which I think that's pretty good. I think when they get, there's like another card they're gonna get that lets them countercharge, just like Doreen. Okay, so he killed my side, and then swung Blaster Blade to rear guard. But Blast Blade Liberator gets pretty nuts in this game. Especially when Alfred, or Monarch Sanctuary Alfred's gonna come out later on. Should be really nuts. So he flipped the draw. Didn't really matter. I hit a draw trigger too. So let us know if you guys like us doing commentary like this. Okay, so I think, yeah, I want to call a Mason to swing at the Blaster Blade. At least that. Well, yeah, I think I was thinking about it. Yeah, I think I was thinking about using Mason to call us that open circle. I think that was the plan here, which is why I did it like that. So I swing at them. They get a heal trigger. Can't hit their Vanguard now, can I? So there's no real point. I decided just to not use it. Okay, so they call it grade 2, I think. Okay, so they're gonna try and push me this turn. Let's see what happens. Blaster Blade and a Marin. Not bad. Get a draw trigger, shuts down their side. You can see our damage zone is a little loaded right now. Okay, top Express. I mean, the game looks pretty even right now, to be honest. Nothing really special about it. Yeah, I think we did this to try and conserve Mason. And then also them to try and push us to limit break. We want that to happen. So we just decided to commit a 1 to try and bait them into attacking us more. Or attacking their Vanguard more. Hit a draw trigger. Into the Dudley Emperor. So now we're basically set at this point. We have everything we need. Okay, they hit a draw trigger. Doesn't really matter. I actually was running spikes a little differently before I started playing this version. Like when I didn't really have anything for the new stuff. Okay, so they kill my side, swing Vanguard. It was a pretty interesting build. I mean, it was really similar to my previous build that I was playing. Okay, they rip a crit. There's a benefit of playing the new PGs. Is that you can't deny people at a limit break now. Okay, so I flipped a heal, so that's good. Don't have to use my PG, hit a draw. You're just checking my hand to make sure everything's going fine. Everything is going fine. Just checking the deck now. Devil Summoner is still in the deck. Got a PG. 3 PGs in the deck. 7 cards left. Pretty good. I don't think I go for it this turn though, because I don't think I can kill them for 3 damage. So I decided to wait a turn. Besides, I still have the PG, so they'd have to either have a Blaster Blade, which they have to either use Blaster Blade skill, or have to hit a stand trigger to win the game. So you see I put them to 4. I don't think I put them to 5 though. Yeah, the plan actually with the Bracky was to not put them to 5 this turn. You see I'm checking triggers. The plan was actually just to not put them to 5, but to put them to limit break. And they break road. They called out that heal, so I went to go check their triggers. They had 13 triggers out, I believe. So that's all of their triggers, so now I know it's a confirmed kill. Okay. It's a pretty nuts turn. So they don't hit any stands, so that's good for us. So now we're ready. Okay, now we're just gonna let this turn play out. Oh, I'll go... Yeah, I do call final turn. This is pretty nuts. I probably shouldn't have done that, but... Okay, so we break ride. So, they actually, I think, could have had one intercept on their board. And it would have still not made a difference. With how this attack pattern is going to go. Okay, so we swing at rear guard first. To their rear guard. Because we don't want to swing at their Vanguard yet, because we want Mason to hit. It's a pretty nuts turn. So our jugs go back to deck. Front row's open. So now, we swing at the Vanguard. On hit. They don't get the damage trigger because they have 13 triggers out. So now we use Mason's skill, call out Devil Summoner. And if you saw what our deck was, the majority of it, there was only 1-3 in the deck. So we top a PG, that's fine. We still swing 16 to their 16. So that's already 2 attacks. So this is 3. Okay, there's the first PG. Now I swing with Devil Summoner again. That's 4 attacks. Now I swing again. This is the 4th attack. Wait, 4th? No, it's 4. Get another one. It's a pretty nuts turn. They had all 4 PGs in hand. Yeah, that was... It's pretty nuts. And they don't have any heals left in deck. I confirmed it. That's kind of why I was checking it. Yeah. So they can't heal because they don't have any left. And that's game. So, next up, we have game against Genesis. Don't see final turn after hit. Got you. So, our opening hand here is actually pretty good. We have bad end, we have grade 2, grade 1 to ride, have PG, Devil Summoner 2, I guess. I mean, both probably could have done this in Devil Summoner back to deck. Raw Reckless, Standard stuff, ride up, nothing really happened first few turns. The pass turn. So they ride up, Artemis. Their skill off. They hit a grade 3. So they confirmed to have a grade 3. That's good. They're playing crits as well. Direct pick a Witch grade 2. That's good for us. Now we'll check on Mason. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter because we don't have one in hand at the moment. So we just decide to ride Devil Summoner, try to get a +1. Get a PG. So I think I try to be aggressive here. I don't want to actually use the Bracky, though, because I want to save it, because I want to take some damage. So I think I actually swing with them with the PG. Yeah, get a trigger, so we can around damage trigger. Get a Bracky. So we have some more defense now. Hit him again. Witch of Frogs, I think. Okay, so it's their turn. So they rode a grade 2, meaning they didn't have the grade 2 for Artemis, unfortunately. Okay, so they call the grade 2 down, 10k body, 18. They wanted to be able to run a damage trigger. And also, it looks like they want to take out my side too. I don't know why they called the 10k to the back row like that though. They were just gonna call a 9k to swing at my rear guard. I didn't really understand that, but I mean, whatever floats your boat. It's fine. So they swing Vanguard to Vanguard. Yeah, they're guaranteed to hit around damage trigger. They drive check another Witch. That's a yikes. I don't even think they've soul charged yet. I hit a draw trigger. It's pretty good. Hit Dudley Emperor, so we almost have the full combo now. Our turn. So we have another grade 2 for defense. We ride up, break ride. Got in Dragger. Yeah, I think I was just thinking about calling out grade 2s to try and sort of stall it out. So that I could try and get them to 4 before I do my break ride turn. Otherwise I'd have to wait a turn when I'm probably going to be at limit break. I mean, it doesn't really matter though. Like, the most I could really do is 3 damage here. Or put them to 3. So I hit a draw trigger. So it's going to be 3 to 3. Damage check with grade 2 Artemis. So I think they do something really weird here. So we know that they... Yeah, they stay grade locked here for some reason. We know that they have the grade 3 because they searched it out. I don't know why they chose to stay grade locked though. They probably had something. I wasn't exactly sure why. They could have rode up, but... eh. Okay, so we go Vanguard to Regard, that's correct. Because 9 to 9. Maybe they didn't have a booster. That could have been the reason why they didn't ride up. But then again, you still have 2 drive checks, so... it's not like an absolute loss. Okay, so I'm debating about using the soul charge skill. So... we're not going to break ride next turn, because they're not at 4 damage yet. If they had been at 4 damage, we would have considered it. But I don't think we're going to break ride next turn, just looking at what we have compared to each other. Yikes, they soul charge a heal trigger. So we do have a PG, that's safe. We still can search out a PG. Mecha Trainer. We also have a bean, so we can actually get our Mason, so we basically have everything we need for the full combo now. Then we search out a PG just to be sure that we'll survive the next turn. We use Bean skill, to search out Intercept, our Mason. Yeah, we're gonna call down the Bracky, because we don't exactly need it. We just need to intercept. I think I called down a 1 here. Yeah, I called down Wild Hitter. Because I could always just drive check a trigger. Maybe stand it. I don't think it'll work here in this situation. Unless you call out like a, if I have a Bracky deck, or like call out a Juggernaut. Because I have to swing boosted, yeah. So we swing Vanguard to Vanguard. We trade rear guards as well. Hit the trigger. And hit a heal trigger, that's pretty strong. Yeah, they hit a damage trigger, so there's no real point in using the Wild Hitter now. If they hadn't, then maybe we probably could have considered it. Maybe search out a Bracky. Okay, so we've met the requirement to, well, for us to win. So they're at limit break. Okay, they finally wrote up the grade 3, which we already knew they had the grade 3 because they searched it out when they wrote up. So they just decided to call 2 grade 1, or grade 1 column, and have 10k Vanguard, which I think that was very detrimental, so that they are on a 10k body this game, because they missed the grade 2. Having that 1 extra K might have saved me. They put a Witch of Frogs into Soul, I believe that's the card. So now we know they have that in Soul. We swing 15, they hit me. Drive check another Witch, that was disgusting. Mim hit a crit, that's fine. But I think I was going to check their triggers or something like that, just there. I could be wrong, but I thought they had 1. I think they had 1 heal left that I didn't know about. I might be wrong. Yeah, that's kind of why I ended up calling final turn. Oh boy. Yeah, we get the break right off. Yeah, use Bean skill, send the trigger back to deck, I guess. Probably shouldn't have done that. Okay, so we call the Mason. We call all boosters. We have more than enough cards to do our combo. I swing Vanguard to Reaker there, because if I swung with the Vanguard, my Mason wouldn't be able to hit him. Because if I know they're going to have a PG, then this is the best time for Mason to swing. So they didn't hit the trigger there, so it's a go. So now I'm going to call out the Devil Summoner. Spirit Call. Devil Summoner, skill activates. And you remember that beans I sent back? Yeah, regret. So I probably shouldn't have sent that beans back. So we swing, ask for a PG. Already looking bad about if they had all their PGs right now. Because assuming they had 3 PGs in hand, I couldn't play around a 6 damage. Because I wished the Devil Summoner, I couldn't play around the 6 damage heal. Which is really unfortunate, but it is what it is, right? So I decided to call out 2 Brackies, they don't matter. I mean, they can play around a damage, 6 damage heal, technically, but that's if they don't have the PG, so we flip the heal, it doesn't go off. Okay, so they had 2 PGs. I'm running out of time. You swing your Bracky. Don't need to use skill, it doesn't matter. So now they had a 3rd PG, which was very unfortunate. Because now I can't play around the 6 damage heal. But on the right side, they do not have any PGs left. Confirmed. So you swing, and they get the 6 damage heal. Yeah. Feels bad. Time to put a hand on that regret button from that. Shouldn't have called final turn, the start of the turn. So, yeah, I'm just giving them a nice. They survived it. But it's fine. See now, their Vanguard is a 10k body. So they actually can use Persona here. They add a card. So, it actually, I don't believe it's possible for them to win the game at the moment because they have the 2 PGs in hand. And their Vanguard's a 10k body, especially with a ward like that, because they don't have a booster behind the Vanguard. Because I'm going to be a 16 when this hits me. Minimum I'll be a 16, so it's almost impossible to lose at this point. And then, if you saw earlier, they're only, yeah, you went to check right there, the Witch of Frogs was the only one in their soul that they could soul last that'll come back out. And it's coming back out as a 10k. So it actually is almost impossible to lose this. At least to my knowledge, it's almost impossible to lose this turn. Because they come out, that card came out as a 10k. Because they couldn't double, I mean, unless they were, I think if they were playing stands, they might have been able to win it. But I think I had already confirmed that they weren't playing stands early on. So like they would have stood the 8k in the back row behind the Witch of Frogs, and then both would have been 18, and then their Vanguard would have been swinging for 20. So then they probably could have won. But we end up surviving it, because they don't rip a stand. So at this point, they don't have any PGs left. Even if they did heal on 6, I could still play around it. Damage Artemis, anime finish. And that's the game. Thank you guys for watching, hope you guys enjoyed. Steam Phoenix Philly, signing out.